Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. I'm Susie McCrae, a proud global founder of OnPassive. Today is our Let's Bless Our Loved Ones guest webinar. You've been invited by someone who cares about you to hear about this business called OnPassive. I'd like to introduce our presenter today, and after the presentation, the panelists will say a few words, and then we'll open up to the Q&A for our guest. I have disabled the chat right now, but we'll be opening it up later. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Mike Ellis. He comes to us from Colorado in the United States. And Mike has been involved in online marketing for quite some time. And he knows the ins and outs of OnPassive. But I'm going to tell you the special quality that Mike has. Mike is a straight shooter. He's transparent, no fluff. He's going to tell you all of the facts. He sticks with the facts. He understands the business, and he tells it in a way that all of you will understand. And we truly believe if you just understand part of what Mike has to present, you're going to be excited to become a founder and see why we're all smiling too. So Mike, it's all yours, and I will be back for the Q&A.
No, thanks, Susie. Stick with us just a sec, Susie. Number one, thanks for the introduction. Hopefully I'll live up to that banner. But before I get started, I'd like to know who's here. And if you're a new person that's here, you're just starting to explore OnPassive, what I'd like you to do is raise your hand. And you can go down below, just click the hand button and raise it. We are not going to bug you. We are not going to embarrass you. We just want to know who we're talking to. So if you're new and you're new to OnPassive, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll give you a little bit of time just to see who's here and who we're talking about. And Susie, just let me know.
Yeah, it's growing and it's growing and growing and growing. I mean, right now we have over 300 attendees, and don't worry, I will lower your hands afterwards, so we won't be calling on you on the Q&A. Let's see, we're up to 10 already that have been. So go down and raise your hand if you are here. You're new, you're a guest, you're listening for the first time. Looks like right now about 10 or so, Mike, but I'm sure there's some shy people here.
Yeah, and we always have a few shy people that don't raise their hand. That's okay. We've got a nice little group here. And as I go through this presentation, thanks, Susie.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that. As I go through this presentation, it is for you. It is for the new people that are here. We have a lot of founders here that come in and support. They've heard all of this. So this presentation, it's not for them, although they'll get something out of it too. They always do. We all do. But it's specifically for you. And what I'd like to do today is I'd like to go over the company of OnPassive, and I'd like to go over what OnPassive is going to do for you. And really, that's the most important part today. You're all here wondering what this company called OnPassive can do for you, how it can affect your bottom line, and where you're going to be in a very, very short period of time as far as your finances are concerned. Well, that's why you're here. We know that. That's why I came into OnPassive. As I looked at OnPassive initially, I came in with the thought of, what is it going to do for me? Now that changes over time, but initially, that's what we're all looking for. What is OnPassive going to do for me? So what I'd like to do is talk about the company of OnPassive. It's very, very important. You know who you're going to be dealing with and what kind of longevity OnPassive is going to have. That's really, really important if you want to build wealth online. And then I'll talk about what OnPassive is going to do for you. And it's very, very easy to understand what OnPassive is doing once you understand a little bit about the business of OnPassive and their CEO, Ash Mufareh. So Ash Mufareh, he is the CEO of OnPassive. OnPassive today is an AI IT company, artificial intelligence, informational technology company. Now, originally when Ash had the vision of OnPassive in his mind, it wasn't as big as it is today. Originally, when I came in, Ash's vision was to build an automated marketing platform, had all the tools we use to market online, those individuals that work online, and then hook it up to AI and drive traffic through it. That was his vision. It was a much smaller vision than it is today. And by the way, if Ash would have just done that, OnPassive would have been extremely extremely profitable business. They would have done marvelous in the online ecosystem. But as Ash started this journey of OnPassive, he already had a vision, and it was a very, very large vision. He was going to start small and then build it later. He decided early on that, no, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to do everything. Everything I want to do, we are going to do now before the global launch of OnPassive. And he started that process by starting to develop products with his team. And right now he's got a team of 200 technicians in Hyderabad, probably about 600-700 employees, and they build all the products of OnPassive. So he decided he was going to do that, and it's taken about 3 years for Ash to go from his vision to OnPassive being a reality today. And OnPassive today, it is a reality. We're done with concept and building and making the products. It's all done. And today, as we're getting closer to the global launch of OnPassive, and I'll talk about that a little later, as we get closer to the global launch of OnPassive, and we're very, very close, by the way. Today, OnPassive is a multi-billion-dollar company, a multi-unicorn company. That is so impressive when you understand that that's never been done in the history of the world, the history of business. No company has been introduced to the world, launched to the world, and been a multi-billion-dollar company. OnPassive will be the first company that ever happens with. Now, as we look at OnPassive, again, AI IT company, artificial intelligence, informational technology company, all of the products and tools of OnPassive, they are digital tools. They are tools that 5 billion people online today use in one way or another, in one capacity or another. So as we look at what OnPassive has done, the products that they've made, our market is massive. Really, really important for you to understand that, to understand the longevity that OnPassive is going to have. And when we start to think about the longevity of OnPassive, it has everything to do with the products of OnPassive. Now, all the products of OnPassive, they have been built from the ground up. They're proprietary, they're cutting edge tools. These tools, these products of OnPassive, they are superior, and Ash took it another step. Not only are they superior with very, very large niches, but the price point is lower. They cost less than any other of the products online. And all of the products online, all of the products that Ash and his team have developed, similar products are online and they are in high demand. It's just that the products that Ash is going to be releasing to the world, again, they're superior. There's nothing out there like them. They're so far ahead of the competition that as we look at the customer base that's going to be coming in and using the products of OnPassive, they are just going to flock in by the millions. That's really, really important, not only for the longevity of OnPassive, but for you and I, those individuals that are coming in and participating with OnPassive. So let's talk about the tools, the products of OnPassive, just very, very quickly, to give you an idea of the volume that's going to be coming into OnPassive as we go into the global launch of OnPassive. And I'll start with this particular product that we're on right now, Zoom, which is a webinar platform. And as OnPassive launches to the world, we will have our own webinar platform. As we look at Zoom is the big player on the block. They're probably the largest webinar platform online today. In fact, they are. There are 24 other platforms. They're the largest. And as we look at the technology of this Zoom, it is really, really antiquated. And I've been using Zoom for probably a year and a half, and I know the problems with this particular platform, and there are a lot of them. As we look at the OnPassive product, the webinar platform that they're going to be bringing out, which is OConnect, it is going to be so superior to this that when people compare the two, it's going to be a no-brainer. They're going to come over and they're going to use OConnect for their webinar services. Now, I have talked to some of the technicians that are in OnPassive and are participating with OnPassive. They know the online ecosystem. They know the technology behind a lot of these products that we have. And I've listened to them talk about OConnect, and it's extraordinary. As they talk about OConnect, they get excited because they know what's going to be happening as OnPassive goes into the global launch. And they say very, very nonchalantly that they believe 90% of the market on these 25 different webinar platforms will come into OnPassive. And if we just look at this one, Zoom does about $2.6 billion in revenue a year. And if we take 90% away from that market, along with 90% away from the other 24, that's a tremendous amount of revenue coming into OnPassive. Why is that important? Ash, a long time ago, as he started developing OnPassive, one of his main goals was to share the wealth with those individuals participating with OnPassive. As you look at other companies, they might share 5% or 10% or 12%, but they keep the majority of the money for themselves. That is not OnPassive. That is not the heart of Ash Mufareh. He wants to see those individuals participating with OnPassive to come in and be successful. And he has promised to share the majority of the wealth that OnPassive is going to be bringing in with those individuals, you and I, who are participating with OnPassive. With this one product, with Zoom, it's $2.6 billion. Now, Ash, when he says the majority of it, it's not 30, 40, 50%. It's 55, 60, 65%. That's going to come in, and he's going to share with you and I. That's going to give you an idea, number one, of the sheer volume that's going to be coming into OnPassive, the amount of wealth that's going to be coming into OnPassive, but what he's going to be sharing with you and I. So OnPassive, although it has a tremendous amount of moving parts, it is extremely complicated. It is an extremely complicated business. But when you look at what Ash Mufareh and his team have done and are doing for you and I, those individuals that are going to be participating with OnPassive, he's made it very, very simple for us. So if you understand kind of the magnitude of what Ash and his team have done in the business sense, you're going to understand the wealth that's going to be coming in and the opportunity you have to share in that wealth with all those individuals that are participating with OnPassive. So that's a short scenario of the business side of OnPassive. It is massive. It will be a unicorn company as we go into the global launch, and we're in a unique position to take advantage of everything OnPassive. So what is OnPassive going to do for you? And this is really, really simple. Again, Ash has taken the complicated and made it very, very simple for you and I to come in, understand what OnPassive is going to be doing, and understand the benefits that come to us. And again, that's the most important part. So what is OnPassive going to be doing for all of us, those individuals participating with OnPassive? As you come into OnPassive and they go into the global launch, OnPassive for each and every one of us will come in and build a marketing platform for us, okay? They will hook it up to AI, artificial intelligence. When they do that, this is really, really important, our business becomes 100% automated, okay? So you're not going to have to run your business. OnPassive is going to do that for you with AI, but it's much, much deeper than that. OnPassive, again, they're going to go back into their toolbox and they're going to pull out traffic. And traffic is one of those products of OnPassive. They're very, very good at it. They're better than anybody I've ever seen. I've been driving traffic for probably 15 years. And when I saw what Ash and his team have done and are doing, I really did feel like a piker. It's like I didn't know anything. That's how good they are. They are the best of the best. So they're going to reach back into their toolbox, pull the traffic out, and they're going to start driving traffic for all of the marketing platforms that they make for each and every one of us. Now, OnPassive is going to be primarily a customer-based business, customers coming in, even though we have the privilege to participate with OnPassive. And as these customers come in, they will land under each and every one of us, a certain percentage of them. And as those customers come in, OnPassive is going to manage them coming in. They're going to manage them as they make the sale, close the sale. As they land underneath us, they're going to manage them as a customer. Again, 100% automated. OnPassive is doing all of this. And as these customers land underneath you, you get paid a commission off of their volume. It's a lot like a commission salesperson that goes in, makes a sales, gets 10% per sale, and makes $100 sale, gets 10% of that, $10. That's how it's going to work. And again, the sheer volume that's going to be happening is really going to amaze you. And I'll talk about that as we get toward the end of the presentation. So this is what OnPassive is going to be doing for all of us: building a marketing platform, hooking it up to AI, driving traffic, bringing customers in. And as those customers land underneath you, you get paid. It really is that simple. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. Again, Ash has taken the complicated, made it very, very simple so all of us can understand what OnPassive is going to be doing. So how is this all going to come to fruition? How is this all going to happen? Okay. We have to come into OnPassive, and today you can come into OnPassive as a founding member. That is a position. It is a $97 position, and the founding position locks you into OnPassive, the company, and it locks you into the pay structure of OnPassive. So OnPassive can go to work for you. Now, the founding position has many, many different benefits. I'll just talk about a couple of them. One of them is before we, and again, this is the founding position. We are founders of OnPassive before we go into the global launch of OnPassive. One of the big benefits that the founding member, we will get is the amount of traffic that OnPassive is going to drive through our business. And as we come into OnPassive, become a founder, we have our business. It is our business, even though OnPassive is going to be working for us. But one of the big advantages is the sheer traffic that OnPassive will drive through your business to bring in customers, get them underneath you, and you get paid. That's a really, really big deal. Traffic is the key to everything we do online. And the more qualified eyes you can get in front of your products, the better chance you have of profiting. And OnPassive will get millions of qualified eyes. These people are just individuals that are looking for what you have, getting in front of it, loving it, and buying it. That's all it is. That's traffic. So OnPassive is going to drive a tremendous amount of traffic for those individuals that are founding members in OnPassive. But I think the biggest benefit, or one of the biggest benefits of becoming a founding member, is OnPassive is going to start building your team very, very quickly. And anytime you can bring people in your team, in your organization, whether it's a customer or another founder or others, I'll get into the others in just a sec, it gives you another stream of revenue. And what does that do for you? Anytime you can get additional streams of revenue in your organization, it cuts time frames and gives you the ability to get to that place quicker of financial independence. So just those two things alone, if I saw them, and when I did see them, I was just in. They're extremely powerful. Now, there will be other things that the founding members will get, other bonuses, things like that Ash hasn't shared with us yet. I can tell you, based on what I'm hearing, everybody that is a founding member is going to be so happy that they came in before the global launch because of the things that are going to be happening between now and the global launch and after it. It's a really unique and powerful position to be in. So once we become founding members, we go into the global launch, what happens? Okay. As founding members, we will all come into OnPassive and we will all become customers. And again, OnPassive is primarily a customer-based business. With us, it's a little bit different. We come in, we pay a subscription fee. That subscription fee will be between $200 and $300. I tell people it's going to be $300. That way, if it's lower, you're excited about it. If you go 200 and it's 300, you're disappointed. Stay at 300. If it's lower, that's great. But we're going to have to pay that fee as we come into OnPassive, become customers, and then go into the back office, click a button, and become independent resellers of the IT product. The independent reseller of the IT product is a very, very important title. That's the title we need in order for OnPassive to pay us. And that has to do everything with the regulators around the world. Do not let that title scare you. Independent reseller of the IT products of OnPassive. You don't have to sell. You don't have to sell. You don't have to share. You don't have to recruit. You don't have to do any of that. Again, OnPassive is 100% automated, but we have to have that title in order for OnPassive to pay us. Okay. That's what that little diatribe was all about. Let's back up to the subscription fee, the $300. Between $200 and $300, I say $300. As we come in and pay that fee, that subscription fee, we get all the products of OnPassive. And the products of OnPassive There will be over 50 products of Unpassive, and that number will always be growing as Unpassive goes through the months and years ahead. Unpassive will never be stagnant. So the products will always be evolving, and we will have new products. Regardless, as we come in and pay that $350, it is a monthly fee. We get all the products of Unpassive. We get all the products of today, and we get all the products of the future. It has a value of tens of thousands of dollars. We get them all. Why is that important? When we get the products of Unpassive, then Unpassive can go to work for us, because they're going to use the IT products of Unpassive to do everything I've talked about. Build the marketing platform, hook it up to AI, drive traffic through it, manage the customers. Everything is dependent on the IT products of Unpassive. So we have to come in and buy the products of Unpassive. That's what that $350 is. Now, in Unpassive, the two fees I'm talking about, the $97 and the $300, you go out of pocket once, you will never have to go out of pocket again, okay? Unpassive is a self-funding business. Once it gets going, once you pay those fees, you will never have to go out of pocket again. And the monthly fee of the subscription fee will be paid from the profits of Unpassive, okay? And Ash Mufareh guarantees this. Not only does he guarantee it, but he guarantees you will make money. It's called forced success. So not only is Unpassive a business that is self-funding, you go out of pocket once, you'll never have to go out of pocket again. It's also going to force you to develop an income, develop a residual income, and develop wealth online. And that has everything to do with the IT products, Unpassive taking them and using them for you. We are putting Unpassive, Ash Mufareh and his team, to work for us, and he is promising us, he is guaranteeing that you will be successful. This is so revolutionary. You will never hear this any place online, any other place online. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I haven't heard anything close to this. And the reason I haven't heard it, it's not there. There is nothing out there that compares with Unpassive. And as we think about Unpassive, yes, very complicated, but he's made it very simple for us. And then when we start thinking about the volume of Unpassive, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're going to know in a very short period of time, you're just not going to worry about finances, guys. And that's where we all want to be. So let's talk about volume just a little bit more before I turn it back over to the panel. I'll talk about a couple of things, but I want to take 4 products to give you an example of just the sheer volume that's going to be coming into Unpassive. And the 4 products I want to take is the traffic source that Unpassive has. I want to take Academy, which is their educational platform. I want to take Staff, which is their HR platform, human resources. Businesses can come in and manage their human resources, and then Academy, the webinar platform. If we look at these 4 niches that Unpassive is in, and remember, Unpassive is in over 50 niches. Every niche that they're in is as good or better than the ones I'm talking about right now. But if we look at these 4, the amount of revenue that these 4 bring in annually is $483 billion a year. Okay. But that's not chopped liver. That's a lot of money coming in. If Unpassive only takes 10% of that market their first year, that's $48 billion coming into Unpassive. Personally, I think they're going to take more than that, but stay very, very conservative, 10%, $48 billion. Why is that so relevant to you and I? Again, Ash Mufareh, he wants to share the majority of the wealth with us, the founding members. As these customers come in, and they will be primarily customers coming in and using the products of Unpassive. As they come in, they're already spending money monthly for similar products. They'll come in, use the products of Unpassive, and love them. They will never leave. How does that impact us? They will never leave. When I say they will never leave, they will pay a monthly fee month after month after month, which makes our income a residual income. Anytime you can develop a residual income online, now you can develop wealth online. So as we look at these 4 products of Unpassive, $483 billion, just 4 of them. There are so many more products to Unpassive than that. We are in such a unique position. I think it's guaranteed that financial bottom line with everybody that's here, it's just going to be taken care of, guys. So when you get volume in the back of your mind, the simplicity of what we have to do and the complexity of the business of OnPassive, you're in a great position to really absolutely take advantage of everything that Ash and his team have done and are doing. Just a couple other things, and I'll turn it back over to the panel. As we look at OnPassive, there are many lanes in OnPassive. And when I talk about the different lanes of OnPassive, where people are and what they're going to be doing, you know, if you're an individual that doesn't have the skill set to do anything online, you're in a great position because, again, OnPassive is going to do it all. But let's say you're an individual that has come on and you're a team builder. Is there a lane for you in OnPassive? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. If you're a team builder, it's a lot, again, like commission sales. You go out, you get a territory, you hire additional salespeople, and you go out and you work that territory. And the nice thing about being the leader of that territory, as your sales force goes out and makes sales, yes, they get commissions for those, but so do you. So if you're an individual that's a builder and you bring in additional people, not only are they going to be successful, but you also get a piece of what they're doing, which in turn gives you the ability to get to that place where you don't worry about finances. You just get there quicker. If you're an affiliate marketer and all you do is sell products online, that's all you do. You don't build teams, you sell products, and you still want to do that. Well, here you are. OnPassive, proprietary, cutting edge, superior tools, lower price point. You're in a position where you can market the sales of OnPassive. And I know people that will do this, that will come in and just market the products of OnPassive. They'll do better than they've ever done before. And some of these individuals have done extremely well. So there are many paths to OnPassive, to the revenue of OnPassive. I've just mentioned 4 of them. There are more. But as we look at OnPassive, we are a global company. We're getting very, very close to the global launch of OnPassive. And when I say close, we're about ready to go into the premium launch. And from the premium launch, we'll go into the global launch. And none of these timeframes are big. They're very, very narrow. And I'll leave it at that. But as we look at OnPassive, we are global. We're in over 200 countries. OnPassive will never come in, put any qualifications on you. In other words, you have to do more to make more. They will never, ever put a cap on the amount of money you can make. And that's a very, very unique thing in this industry. OnPassive is unlike any other company out there. They're never going to put any strains on you, any qualifications. You're going to be able to do what you want to do and hit the goals you want to hit. Keep it very, very simple, 100% automated, hooked up to AI. Again, something that's never been done in the history of business or the history of the online ecosystem. And today, you and I, we get to take advantage of that. Now, when you're coming into OnPassive, get back with the person that's invited you, get their registration link, and they'll walk you through the registration project. I'm going to turn it over to Charles. If he wants to talk about that, he can, but the individual that invited you, if you get back with them, they can walk you through it. It's not a hard process and pretty easy to do. I'll turn it over to Charles just very, very quickly, and then you can turn it back over to Susie. Wasn't sure quite where I was supposed to go, Charles, but you always have some good things to share with us. Go ahead and hit any of those areas I might have missed, Charles. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mike. I think you hit everything. You said everything that needs to be said about OnPassive. If you listen to this presentation and please, you don't sign up, then I don't know what else to say. I want to thank Susie for welcoming the guests, setting the stage for Mike to do this fantastic job. I'm just going to add a few things just to make some people stop wondering, should I be here or should I not be here? That's it. Okay, because a lot of people out there, and I've been there and say this from experience. After such a brilliant presentation, you're asking yourself, well, haven't I heard this before? How is this different from all the other companies that I've listened to? Okay, they come on, you join them, and before you know it, they're out of business, right? The website is no longer existent. So let me tell you guys why OnPassive is different. 3 things you should ask yourself before you get into any business from here on out. If the business satisfies all 3 of these things, you can jump in. If any of them is missing, believe me, it belongs to the top 2%. Some people say 3%, I say 2% in online business, okay? Question number 1, do you have to recruit or sell to make money? In other words, if you cannot sell to one person, if you seal your lips, are you going to make money? And I mean serious money, not chop change, okay? If that answer is yes, well, you are in a good place. Go to the next question. Sorry, if the answer is no, you are in a good place. If the answer is yes, guess what? If you have to sell, you don't want to do it. That's what I'm saying. Question number 2, do I have to pay a monthly bill? Okay, ownership, monthly ownership. If the answer is yes, you don't want to do it. Question number 3, do they have legitimate, viable products? Because believe me, I got involved with some businesses that satisfied the first 2 questions, but the third one was not there. I was excited, but my excitement was short-lived. Because one day I went to the website, they're gone. And why is that? No legitimate, viable products. By legitimate, I mean legal. By viable, I mean necessary. Something that mankind, you and I, will need every day. Think about your cell phone. Think about internet access. Those are viable, okay? And when we say viable products, OnPassive has the most legitimate, viable digital products on earth. Mike Ellis named a few of them, the educational platform, the human resources, the webinar platform, he named a few of those. But we have a whole lot more. Everything you need online in this day and age, we have it under one umbrella. Okay, in the IT, we call it single sign-on. And here's a big deal. These are integrated. No company on earth has ever successfully done it. In OnPassive, we are 99% there. I'm going to give you an idea of what Bill Gates did in the early 80s. Prior to that, we used to have something for spreadsheet called Lotus 123. Prior to that, we used to have something for word processing, we call it Word Perfect, for those of you who have been around. Okay, we used to have Netscape Navigator. Okay, well, guess what Bill Gates did? He sat back and he watched and he said, you know what? I can put all of this in one place, make it cheaper, because when you do it in one place, it's cheaper. Integrate them in a little way. And guess what he did? He took all of them, built something called Microsoft Office. So today, Word Perfect has been replaced by Microsoft Word. Lotus 123 was replaced by what? Microsoft Excel. Well, then we have Internet Explorer. He added some stuff, Visio, PowerPoint. Well, guess what? This is what OnPassive is doing, but in a larger scale, and the whole of online digital marketing. My friends, you can't go wrong. You can decide to be a founding member today, or you can wait, sit back, and become a customer tomorrow, whether you like it or not. Okay? So this is the time, the timing and positioning, it is just right. And the window, like Susie said earlier, Mike said earlier, it is closing rapidly. I can assure you that 100%, rapidly. Very soon it's gonna be lights out. So jump on board, don't sit on the fence. We will welcome you because our mission is to help humanity. Back to you, Susie.
Well, thank you, Charles. I always love your little checklist that everyone can go through. And the good thing is OnPassive, you can check yes to all of those. Thank you, Mike Ellis. You delivered like you always do. So I'm going to explain the Q&A right now, and I'm going to open up the chat, and then we'll get to a few more panelists. I think what I really liked, I'd just like to comment, is that OnPassive is all inclusive for everyone to join. Like Mike was saying, whether you are someone who likes to recruit, you're a marketer, you're a builder, you like to do that work, or if you're someone who's like, I have no idea what this language they're talking about is, that's the good news. I always tell everyone, my parents are in their 90s. They're founders. They listen to our private webinars. They're excited. They're excited. All different people, doesn't matter what your background is. It was made for us to be successful. Finally, a company built for all of us to be successful. So today is our guest webinar. That means the Q&A is for our guest only. So I'm please asking any founders to please refrain from raising your hand or writing a question in the chat. If you do, we're not ignoring you. We're just focusing on our guest today. So if you do have a question, this is how we're going to do it. You can go down and raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, I can see it on my end. I'll bring you on as a panelist. Your screen will change and we'll ask you if you are okay becoming a panelist. You'll come on, I'll have you unmute your mic and your video, and you can be on here live with us asking your question. If you're shy or you don't feel like coming on as a panelist, you can go down in the chat and type your question, and we will do our best to go through those and get them all answered. We already have someone, a founder, asking a question. Please refrain from asking any questions in the chat if you are a founder. This is only for guests. I have also put in here, and I'll repeatedly put it here, that if you would like a copy of today's webinar, don't put your email in the chat. What you want to do is email, and I put it in the chat here, onpassivenation@gmail.com, and request a copy of today. Once this link is ready, you will receive the link from Marty. So I'm going to go to Andy Burks, who's on our panel, and we'll have a few of the panelists speak as I welcome people in to ask questions. Andy comes to us from the UK. He'll tell you he is not tech savvy, but he is a numbers guy, and he understands the beauty of how the numbers work with OnPassive, and it's always good to hear what he has to share. So go ahead, Andy.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. As Micah said, I love this business because I am not tech savvy in the slightest. Haven't got a clue how these things work. I know if you turn a light bulb on and off, it goes on and off, but I don't know how the electricity works. But I love the fact it registers you a domain name, it builds you a website, it drives specific targeted traffic to the website, closes the sale, pays you for the customers that fall underneath you, and then deals with all the customer support. I mean, what could be better? Now we have you guys have obviously heard of Amazon. It's the largest company in the world right now. And it's taken Amazon 20 years to create 40,000 millionaires. Now, our esteemed CEO, Ashma Farah, wants to create 1 million Mother Teresas. In other words, 1 million millionaires. And all of these people will be able to help others because they will be able to fill their tank, cover everything that they need and more, and then be able to help others. Now, that for me is something rather special. But I wanted to share with you the power of numbers. Now, if you did nothing, and you don't have to recruit, I'm not very good at it myself, and I have a tiny team in comparison to the rest of this wonderful panel here. But if you did absolutely nothing, and we're going to assume it takes the company a couple of weeks to get you your first 3, because there's going to be a massive influx of customers as we go forward. But after that, let's say that it's then going to take you another 3 months to get 3 customers, and those customers, 3 customers, and so on. So it would go you plus 3, 4, times 3 is 12, plus your 4, 16. 16 times 3, 48, plus your 16, 64. 64 times 3, 192, plus your 64, 256. So at the end of the first year, you'd have 256 customers. Now, if you actually just simply shared this opportunity with 9 other people who saw the vision as we all do, and they came and joined you. Now you can multiply those figures by 10. Now, what does that do for your income? That multiplies the income you were going to get by 10. That alone, by just simply sharing to 9 others, is an incredible difference at the end of the first year. But I've been asked, you know, all this, I'm too late to get in. We've already got 1 million founders on board. No, wrong, totally wrong. Because actually, in the first year, we anticipate taking on way over 100 million customers in our first year. That puts us in the top 1% of the company. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd love to have been in the top 1% of Microsoft or Amazon before they launched. That's fantastic. Anyway, I hope that helps, Susie.
Yes, thank you very much, Andy. Appreciate your insight. You make my head spin. I'm gonna.
Thank you for not making me last.
Well, you were on first, so I figured I'd do that. Okay, I'm going to answer a question in the chat, and then we'll bring on someone who's on the panel. Vic is asking some questions. Vic is a guest. What's the difference between founders and OnPassive? This is confusing to me. I will explain it. And then I also told you, I recommended that you get a copy of today's webinar. So this is an opportunity. The company is called OnPassive. And the opportunity today is to become a founder, a founding member. The CEO is inviting us to become founders of the company OnPassive. So you would do that by getting back to the person who invited you. They have a registration link. You sign up. It's $97. It locks you in as a founder, and it locks you into the payment structure of the company. You are part of OnPassive. You are a founder of OnPassive. The company OnPassive will have a global launch soon. When we launch to the globe, you as a founder will also become a customer. It's a one-time payment of between $200 and $300 once out of pocket. Every month, that subscription is paid through your earnings. So we hope that that's helpful to you. I know we have a few more questions, but I'm going to go to Dave Kushin. Dave Kushin, you are on the panel. If you could unmute yourself and ask your question. Dave? Hi, Dave.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Are you a founder or are you a guest?
I'm a guest.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. Oh, okay. So my question is, so there's the $97 cost to become a founder, and then is there a point where one is required to make the $200 to $300 monthly fee, the one-time monthly fee? At what point would one be required to do that?
Okay, yep. You would be required to make that payment when we have our global launch, which is coming up soon. We don't have a date for it, and you will make it once out of pocket. And what that will do is it will activate your account, and it will get OnPassive doing the work for you using their products and tools. Then the next month when that fee is due, it comes out of your earnings, not out of pocket. And we are very confident that everyone will have that in their earnings, and going forward, every month it comes out of your earnings. Does that help answer it?
Yeah. So at the point where that happens, one actually is starting to make money. Is that right?
Exactly. You got it.
Oh, okay. And as far as when that's going to happen, we don't know, but we don't think it's going to be more than a year from now.
No, we think it'll be much sooner. Like we said, we don't have a date, but it's coming up very soon. And Dave, once you come on board as a founder and you have access to the back office, we have recorded private webinars with our CEO, and we're looking like very soon we're going to have another private webinar with him with more updates and details. This is a public webinar and we really can't share too much, but the launch is imminent. It's getting very close. That's why we're here today, to say the opportunity is closing soon to become a founder.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Get back to the person who invited you. And if they can't answer your questions, they'll get back to one of us to help you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. We do have a question where Kevin R. from South Carolina says, so this is an MLM program. Would someone like to talk about how OnPassive is not an MLM? Go ahead, Charles.
Okay. So MLM stands for multi-level marketing, right? And what generally happens in an MLM company, and they are good, it's a good model, by the way. Nothing wrong with it. I mean, Mary A. and Mary Kay has been making a lot of money using MLM, okay? Forever Living, there are so many of them, good ones out there. But guess what happens in an MLM? You are required to recruit. As a matter of fact, when an MLM company registers with the federal government, they are required to state what's the minimum recruit before somebody can start earning income, okay? So a lot of them now, they say 2, some say 3, some 4, but majority of them say 2, okay? So you come in, before you make a penny, you must bring in 2. Before those 2 make a penny, they must bring in 2 each. And the cycle continues, okay? Multi-level marketing, different levels. With OnPassive, you come in, you don't open your lip, you don't talk to anybody. We launch, AI goes to work, recruits on your behalf, brings in the customers, and you just start earning money. And you don't talk to anybody 1 year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, you make enough money to leave a legacy for your children, your children's children, and beyond. And that is why we say everybody that comes into OnPassive succeeds. You win as long as you're in it, okay? MLM, less than 2% succeed because less than 2% of human beings know how to recruit. That's what makes it difficult. It doesn't make it illegal, it's just tough, okay? So that's the main difference between OnPassive and MLM, okay? We are a brick-and-mortar company, have offices as of today, registered in the United States, in India, in Bangladesh, in Singapore, and soon to be some other places that I don't want to mention, okay? So we are a brick-and-mortar company with employees that go to work with a CEO that earns more than the CEO of Google, okay? So yes, that's a big difference.
Thank you so much, Charles. Dan, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing to that. That was great. And, you know, just in my experience with MLMs in the past and any other network marketing company that I've been with, like Charles was saying, you have to recruit in order to get paid. And when you're recruiting over and over and over again, and let's say you have some success and you're bringing a lot of people into your organization, you're making a little bit of money. Well, those people aren't doing the same thing that you're doing, so they end up quitting, and then your income level goes down. So you're in a constant battle to keep recruiting and bringing more people into your organization in order to make money. So in my opinion, that's not true residual income. Now, what OnPassive is giving us is true residual income. In other words, you're becoming a founding member, then you pay once, and the balance of those monthly payments are come out of the profits that are generated from the volume that comes into your business that OnPassive is doing for you through an automated process. And when you've got a company like OnPassive that's 5 to 10 years ahead of the competition, in fact, we don't even have any competition right now, and the value is so incredible. You know, you look at $200-300 a month, and all the products that you would be getting for that, it's unheard of. It's hard to fathom. So the key point here is you're not going to ever have anybody quit. So you're going to be getting true residual income on every single month. Those customers are paying that low rate for superior products, and you're going to get true residual income.
That's right, Dan. And I got to tell you, I am part of a direct sales MLM. I did well, but what I love about it is I'm at the age now. I love people. I love helping people, but quite frankly, I do not want to have to manage a team. I don't want to have to manage customers or troubleshoot or be a slave to my phone because I am customer service oriented. I have in my entire career, and I'm always like quick to respond and get questions answered. What I love about OnPassive is we come in as founders. When we launch, we activate our account and they go to work for us 24/7. They take care of all the customer support, all the technology stuff. We're paying them to work for us. And if it sounds crazy, it's because you've never heard of this before. That's what makes this company revolutionary. We may not fully understand the pay structure. We have not seen the entire pay structure at all, but our CEO has told us, you don't need to know the recipe. You just need to know that it's absolutely delicious. So with that, I'm going to answer Brenda's question, and then we'll have Marina say a few words. Brenda, you're asking, what is the concept of the team? How is it expected to operate? So like I was saying, you're not expected to manage a team. You'll have customers coming in. They will fall under you in your organization. The company takes care of them. However, right now as founders, if you come in as a founder, you're able to, as we said, build your team ahead of time, build your team of customers by inviting people to a presentation like this, sharing it with them, sharing your registration link, and they come in under you as a founder. Our CEO is giving us this time now if we would like to pre-build customers on our organization ahead of time. But the beauty is you don't have to do that. So there are no expectations. You can be passive in this business, or you can be out sharing with people. And we have these webinars Tuesdays at this time, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Once you become a founder, you'll have access to the back office. There's webinars all across the globe in different languages that you can invite your loved ones to. So I'm going to keep looking for any questions, but in the meantime, I'd like to introduce Marina Favet. She comes to us from South Africa. Marina has been instrumental in helping founders across the globe. She's part of our leadership council. She knows the business inside and out, and we appreciate anything she has to add to these webinars. So go ahead, Marina.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you to all the panel.
You're a little...
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Thank you. Because I never said hello Africa, hello world.
That's
I
right.
think that triggers my mic.
There you go.
Anyway, I'm really excited to be here. Thank you to all the panelists and to the guests and to the founders on this webinar tonight. It's nighttime here in South Africa. You know, everyone has covered the business, the concept of the business, and that it's wealth generation and you can leave a legacy that you can be proud of. But just to give you a little snippet of our CEO, Ash Mufara, he has a Masters of Information Technology and E-commerce, MIT from the American Intercontinental University. He's also done various courses through Harvard University, specifically related to marketing and online business. And he has well over 25 years experience in online business. And he saw a gap in the market and knew that something needed to be done. Not only that, has he brought us this wonderful global IT company that we can be proud founders of on this journey with him. He is sharing the wealth with us. He could be one of the richest, if not the richest person in the world, but yet he's decided to share the wealth with us. And even our pay plan, everything OnPassive is doing has never been done before. We are going to be a unicorn. We're already valued at $5.5 billion US. Our CEO told us within a year, that's not after a year, that's within a year. I'll give it a few months and we will be valued at an estimate of $12 billion US dollars. So that's what you're joining. That is, it's already so huge, and it's only going to get bigger once we officially launch to the world. And he's just got such a generous heart. In the past, over the last 2 years, actually, only, he has given away over 100 laptops, iPhones, whatever, to founders. And when COVID-19 hit, he supplied his staff members with a laptop so that they could work at home. He made sure that he paid for everyone's medication or vaccination that they needed, make sure that the staff was safe. And just in this month, the beginning of this month, he gave away an SUV. He's going to be giving a car away a month. I'm not sure for how long, until, it just incentivizes the staff, and they are so happy to receive an SUV just for doing your job, right? Today he gave away a Honda scooter. In the month, he's given away 3 iPhones. This is just to staff members to keep them motivated. We have not launched. OnPassive is not making money. We are still 100% debt-free, and it's 100% funded by the Mufara family. Why would you not want to be part of a company that is growing so fast in the sector that we need to be? With COVID-19, we are forced to go online, to find business online, to work from home. So this is the full package that you're going to get, plus over and above that, we get to use all the tools, the products, tools, and services, and you get to be part of a community. This is not just a business. We are making friends. We are best friends with people we've never met face to face, but we're meeting them online. And now a lot of people are organizing venues in their different countries and locations just to get to meet the founders around the world. You are joining a family here, and OnPassive is the future. So I really welcome you on board, and we are here to help you to make sure that you have a good understanding of this business, that you could share it with those that you love and care for. Thank you.
Thank you, Marina. Well said, and bringing up the topic of our CEO. You see, Ashman Farr, our CEO, is not motivated by money. He's one of the few CEOs that's come into a business. It's revolutionary. He's here to share the wealth with the rest of us. He tells us he wants us to fill our tanks, take care of what we need to, and then go out and bless others and pay it forward. And we have a product, oh blessed, to be able to do that in OnPassive. I have a question that I would like one of the panelists to answer. It's from Kevin. So there is no guarantee of when it will launch or when profits will actually begin paying the monthly fee. Would someone like to talk about that?
I would quickly I wanted to actually comment on that just now.
Okay.
Remember, our CEO told us that when we go in, right now we are in our pre-launch, and the next step is our beta testing semi-launch, where we as founders get to use or test certain products, and we're just going to do a bit of a run. That run is going to last anything between 2 weeks and nothing more than 90 days. He doesn't even believe that we're going to need 90 days. That's the max. So once we go into our semi-launch, which is around the corner, we're talking a matter of weeks, a month, whatever the case is. We don't know dates yet, but just give or take. And then from that time, we will only be in that transition period or that beta testing period within the semi-launch for 14 to 90 days, nothing longer than that. So that will give you an indication of when we're going to be going into our official launch, where you'll be required to pay that one-time subscription of between $200 and $300. But all that information will be given to us in due course. Thanks.
Yeah, so just for me to answer his question in simple terms, there are no guarantees in life, period. We're not even guaranteed to be alive tomorrow. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you look at a business, you look at the potential. Okay, you look at the risk. So what I tell people is the risk of losing $97 pales in comparison to the risk of what you might gain when we launch, right? We don't know what time. We do see progress, a lot of progress, because we are following up and we're enjoying the process, right? Now, to the second part of your question, when the monthly payment will start coming in, the day that will launch, the same day, that's when you're going to start getting the monthly payments. You start getting rewards. You start earning money from OnPassive. But we don't know exactly when. And like Marina said, it's very close, but we cannot guarantee anything, period.
Okay, thank you, Charles. And that can parlay into Brenda's question. At what point would we get information of the details of the commission structure? Would it be before we pay the first subscription fee?
Yeah, it will be, Susie. Ash is going to come out with the compensation plan before we go into the global launch. Honestly, you know, I've been on OnPassive 2.5 years. It's not something I really think about, because when I did think about the compensation program of OnPassive and had kind of an idea in my head, Ash came out very, very quickly and he said, "You're wrong. It's 100 times better than anything you think." So we're going to be pleasantly surprised about the pay program with OnPassive. It's going to blow you away. And Charles is absolutely right. We don't guarantee anything because this is real life. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But based on everything we've seen, based on the sheer volume that's going to be coming into OnPassive, you can make some assumptions. And if you use your mind, those assumptions are going to get you very, very excited about OnPassive. No guarantees, but what's coming, you're not going to be disappointed. I can guarantee you that. So back to you, Susie.
You guarantee something. Well, let me add something to that.
I can guarantee that, but I can't guarantee money.
Let me add something to that, because sometimes I just want people to think, right? Because a lot of founders have asked me that question, commission. When are we going to do the commission, the pay plan? Let me tell you guys something. That commission stuff is usually public made compensation plan with MLM companies. We are not an MLM company. When I work with AT&T, when I work with the federal government, we don't have commission or pay plan public to everybody, right? You go to the HR person, Susie knows better, and your payment is secret between you and that person, okay? You can be working, 10 of us working as engineers, or 10 of us making different incomes because of the way we negotiated coming in, okay? That's what brick and mortar companies do. Because OnPassive is a brick and mortar company, we're never ever gonna see a full detail of the compensation plan. Ash has said, he will give us kind of a general idea, okay? How it's gonna look like, but not specifics, okay? Not specifics. Just know that in your life in OnPassive, all you're ever gonna have to spend out of pocket is about $400, no more than $400. But believe me, you're gonna make a heck of a lot more than $400. That alone should be gratifying. And you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do jack. That's what I'm talking about.
Jack.
Yes, you do jack and you get a lot of money. How do you beat that? Okay?
Yeah.
That's gratifying to me.
Yeah, Ash understands that. He understands that things need to be fully automated using artificial intelligence and machine learning, because as humans, you know, we're out there. You may have a bad day or a bad week, and what happens to your business or to your team? That whole structure, it doesn't work. That's why he has built this. Okay, we have Dave back on. Dave, you asked to be back on. Did you have another question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so what I want to know, how would this play out in the case of like accelerating inflation?
Accelerating what?
Inflation?
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Dave, when you come in and we go into the global launch, the last thing that's going to be on your mind is inflation. It just is. We're going to be able to outpace inflation like you can't even imagine. And again, it all comes down to the sheer volume, the traffic, the volume that OnPassive is going to be doing. So if we've got a 6% inflation rate, don't even worry about it. Believe me, that's not even going to come into your head. 6% inflation rate, which is horrible, it's not going to affect you.
Oh, okay. Well, what if it's a lot more than that?
If it's a lot more than that, it's still not going to affect you. If it gets up to 18%, it's not going to affect you. Now, the whole world's going to go down the pot, but Unpassive isn't.
Yeah.
But I don't expect inflation to get to 18%, Dave. And I was alive when it was there. I remember that too. But I just think because of what's happening in the world today, and that's what you're talking about, I think there are a lot of very, very positive things happening right now that you don't hear about. I don't think you have to worry about that. I really don't.
Yeah, and Dave, and thank you, Mike. And Dave, I want to add too, we kind of have a little like a grin because we know some things that only founders know. And once you come on and you hear more of the private webinars, you'll be more and more enlightened and get a lot of your questions answered. And keep in mind, it's a 30-day money back guarantee. You can jump on board, go take a look around. And if you don't like what you see, you can get your money back, prior to when we go to the global launch. The other thing to keep in mind as inflation goes, Mike just got my mind thinking, our products are superior at a lower price point. So if anything, people are going to really enjoy having more money in their pockets, especially businesses and services that use these digital products. They're going to go, wow, I am saving so much money. I know someone who has an online business. They're spending thousands every month to keep their business afloat, just with their website, the hosting, their email marketing program, having the Zoom capacity, customer relation management system, CRM, also doing their HR, their payroll, all of that. They're all over the place paying different amounts of money for those products and tools. When Unpassive launches, their price point for all of those tools in one place will be so much lower. They're going to be happy. They're not going to leave. So to me, it's inflation proof.
Yeah, and Susie, you're 100% right. But Dave, remember, maybe you're old enough to remember when inflation got up to 18%. It was bad, but the economy did not stop. The worldwide economy did not stop. And it wasn't there very long before it came back down and things really revved up. And like Susie said, because of the position we're in, people are going to come into Unpassive because of the value of Unpassive. So inflation, it's just something you're not going to have to worry about, Dave.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Good questions. Okay. Next we have Onyikwir. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Can you unmute yourself? Hi, were you invited as a guest today?
No, I'm a founder.
Okay, today is for founders only. Okay, so we're only taking questions from guests. So thank you. Get back to someone on your feet.
Guests only.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to put back in the chat. If you want a copy of today's webinar, send an email to onpassivenation@gmail.com. We're going to wrap up now. If you do have questions and we didn't answer them, get back to the person who invited you, request a copy of this. But what we really want to say is we can't explain everything in every single detail within this time span. Mike did an excellent job giving you the meat and potatoes, and Charles gave a little bit of the gravy. We all added a little bit to today to give you an idea. We are not the ones who are benefiting today by doing this. I can't say that enough. The true person who's going to benefit from listening today, understanding our integrity and our transparency, is you, the guest. We can't tell you enough. Get back to the person who invited you, jump on board, get into that back office, see the other things we see, spend time with us and the CEO, and you're going to be so glad you did that. So get back to them. Charles, I don't know if you'd like to wrap things up today. And I did the recording, Charles.
Great.
Yeah.
You didn't forget, right? Like you're not like,
Oh, well, I'm like, Charles, but then I did it. So I'll
Always
get it
be
to
a
Marty.
reminder.
I'll get it to Marty.
All right. Yes, I'm going to wrap things up just by saying, guys, if you're sitting on the fence, jump over it. You don't have too much time, right? And once you come in, the next thing you want to do is to get your loved ones. Unfortunately, there's not too much time. So what you need to do, bring them to the webinar Saturday at 11 a.m. so that they too can listen just like you and ask all their questions. And that way, guess what? They're not going to shortchange you when you start making that money, right? Because if you don't bring them in to make their own money, they're going to shortchange you when you make your own money, right? So bring them in, get them involved, and let's all be happy. That's the goal. Help humanity. Reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. That's our CEO's aim. That's his goal, and we're going to help him achieve that goal. So enjoy the rest of your week. And those of you who become founders today or tomorrow or before Monday at 2 p.m., you'll be able to join our founders only roundtable. And by the way, our CEO might come up this week and talk to founders only. So jump on board so you are part of that meeting, okay? Have a great rest of the week. See you all on Saturday.
Okay, and yes, do not leave your email in the chat, please. I just send an email to onpassivenation@gmail.com and we'll get you that link later on tonight. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us.
Right.
Bye-bye.